What up, everybody? Today I want to talk about how the mist of your own conditioning that has been passed on to you, is actually holding you back from seeing how fucking amazing the way you are. It holds you back from seeing that you have already everything you need to know. And what that does is it allows you to not go out there into the world thinking that you're not good enough, trying to externally add something towards the emptiness you feel inside. No, what you're able to see is that you're already full. You're able to see that everything you were looking for is already here. And what that does is it allows you to go out there into the world from this fullness to overflow and do whatever the fuck you want to do in this lifetime, instead of going after the things society tells you to do to add more value towards yourself. No, you find your own value within yourself, which then allows you to actually share it and shine it into the world. So I already shared what I actually wanted to dive into in those short little sentences, but I just want you to imagine, like, you look out of your window and you have your natural view, like the actual reality of what you can see right now. Maybe you have a big garden, so you can actually see your garden, the trees, and everything that is there. Or maybe it's the street, maybe it's a church. Wherever you live right now in the world, I want you to look out of your window and just see and look what you can see right now. So now I want you to imagine like having one of those cloudy, rainy days where there's this mist almost like layering your view. It's veiling your view on something which is normally pretty clear to you. So that's what happened to us when we were really young. When we were young, untainted, uncolored by, the conditioning of our parents, the conditioning of society, of the collective, we were able to see, we were already in peace. We were already like full of love and happiness. We were present in each moment, but then through the veiling, through the mist of our conditioning, which has been passed on from our parents, from our society, from the environment we were living in, what's happening is that then this knowing of our true self gets veiled. So now I want you to imagine whatever you see right now in front of you, just imagine that there's this mist, this fog, which is kind of like veiling the view you normally have. So now if there would be this mist and fog every single day for the next, I don't know how old you are, but for the next 20, 30 years, at one stage you would actually take this, well, like what you see right now in front of you, the mist, the fog, the limited view, you would take this on as reality, that this is what it is. And because, when you were young, you were actually never questioning, what your parents were telling you, like, you start to believe all of that. You start to take on those conditions. You start to take on those limiting beliefs, and you actually never start questioning them. The same way that when you look out of your window, see the mist, the fog, limiting your view, that after 20, 30 years, you would just believe that this is the way it is, that there is nothing behind that fog, that mist, because your view is limited. It doesn't allow you to see further. So what happens through self-realization, through turning inward, we move beyond that mist. We actually turn inward to let this mist disappear, to actually return back to the natural reality, to the natural view on what we had on ourselves. To recognize that everything we were looking for externally, going out there, trying to add something towards us, which never really works, because then we go for the next and the next and the next. Like, what it does, it allows you to see that you already have everything you're looking for. It allows you to lift that veil, which is veiling you temporarily to believe that you're not good enough. It was veiling your view on yourself to then tell yourself those limiting stories, those limitations, that this is the way it is. But by actually lifting that veil, what you're able to do is you're able to return back to who you truly are, to see clearly, to almost remember the true nature of your being. It's not something you discover newly, because at one stage before there was this mist, this fog, right? Layering, veiling your view onto your garden, your church, whatever there is there. Like, it's a remembering, oh wow, now I remember there was something before it was layered and veiled by this mist, the fog of my conditioning. So returning back to your true nature is not a new discovery. It's not something you're looking for. It's a remembrance. It's a recognition that it is always there. That it has always been here. It's just that you were so focused on the veil. You were so focused on the mist that you took this mist. Even if you can't grasp it, right? Even if you can't touch it, you took it as real, which then layered your reality to look at yourself through a lens which told you that you're not good enough. But now, because you're moving back towards yourself, you're moving inward and let this mist disappear, you look beyond the mist, able to see that you were always enough, that you are enough, and that there's nothing you have to add on to yourself. It's just about recognizing that you already have everything within. And what that does is now you're not going out there into the world trying to add more and more things towards yourself. Now you go out there from this fullness, from the recognition that you are already enough. I just want you to take a moment just to see the differences, to actually feel the difference. Living a life, going out there trying to add something towards yourself because you believe that you're not good enough. And then on the other hand, knowing that you're good enough, being full, alive, and then go out there to fully live. And that's what I always talk about in my Instagram stories and in my posts when you start to become fully alive. Because now your happiness, your true nature, the peace and love, which is inherent within your own true self, which was veiled by the mist of your conditioning, like now you're able to experience it every single day. No matter if your view is limited and kind of like blocked by the mist of your conditioning, because you recognized, you remembered, you are able to move beyond it. You're able to move beyond it over and over and over again until you ground yourself and center yourself back into your true nature, into who you truly are. And that's what the practices are for. That's where meditation comes into place, stillness and other practice that actually anchor you within the present moment. That's when you slowly start to move away from who you think you are to who you truly are. And that's when you start to truly liberate yourself, to be fully alive, to actually go out there and do whatever it is that you want to do, to actually shine your own light into this world, to actually step back into your own power, recognizing that you've always been enough. That it's time to stop looking for something outwardly to add something towards you, and then to actually turn inward and what is it that I would love to do? What is it that I would share with the world, that I would love to give to the world? What kind of service would I love to be in to others, to the world? And now this approach from trying to add something towards yourself, it turns into sharing yourself. Now, because you're full on the inside, you're able to overflow, to share yourself with the world. And that's just something incredible to experience. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an insight what I meant by moving beyond the mist of your conditioning. Because in reality, you're already good enough the way you are. You're already amazing the way you are, and there's nothing you have to add towards yourself. By recognizing that the peace, love, and happiness you're longing for through all those actions, trying to find it on the outside, you start recognizing it's already here. And what that does, it allows you to just go out there and live your life fully, happy, in peace. So, thank you so much for listening. Yeah, I'm looking forward to share something more with you, and until then, create a beautiful day.